everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Alex and today I'm going to be bringing you my July TBR. Now last month I went kind of hard on myself on my TBR. I was very ambitious and ended up failing on quite a few accounts, but I still had some really great reads last month. This month I am aiming to be a little bit easier on myself, mainly because there is a lot of good media coming out this month that I am going to be spending my time consuming. Namely, Stranger Things Season 3 and Orange is the New Black Season 7 are both coming out in July, so I know that I'm going to be watching those as soon as they come out, so I'm trying to put less pressure on myself to read so that I can make sure that I get to watch those. That being said, I do, as usual, have about 12 books on my TBR. I will be participating in one readathon this month, and I will give you that TBR individually towards the end of the video. So without further ado, let's get started. Now the majority of the books on this list are pretty random, but I do have an overarching TBR for the year with a ton of books that I'm really wanting to get to, and the majority of these books fall into that category. First is a book that I have been putting on TBRs for a couple months now, and that is Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch. Still have not gotten to this one, but I have to get to it in July. My hold is ready for it at the library. All I have to do is check it out and read it. This follows our main character who goes on a journey to Italy because it is her mother's dying wish for her to meet the father that she never knew. Again, I meant to read this one in May, didn't get to it. Meant to read it in June, didn't get to it. I have to get to it in July. Next, I want to read Zodiac by Romina Russell. This book had a lot of hype on BookTube back a couple years ago, but it quickly fell off the wagon and I haven't heard anything about it since. I really don't know exactly a synopsis for this. I just know that it is kind of a sci-fi meets high fantasy. This is the beginning to a series and the cover is gorgeous, so I'm going to just kind of go in blind and see where the story takes me. Forgive me if you can hear that lawnmower weed eater in the background. When you're a work-at-home mom and your kid only naps once a day, you film when you have time. Another one I'm planning to get to in July is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This will be a reread for me, and I'm going to be picking it up on audiobook this time around. This book follows our two main characters, Celia and Marco, who are competing in this magical, mysterious circus that only appears at night. This is an incredibly atmospheric story. It's very well developed, well rounded. I remember absolutely loving it when I read it, but it's been several years, so I'm excited to jump into the audiobook, consume this in a different format, and just revisit this world in general. Another one I'm excited for is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. Again, I don't know a ton about this novel. I just know that it's a sci-fi that follows our main character Rosemary, who is on the crew of a ship named the Wayfarer. This is another one that I have heard very good reviews for. I'm trying to get myself to read more sci-fi because it is something that I really enjoy. I just don't gravitate towards it as much, so I'm trying to make a conscious effort to pick up more of them, and with all the good reviews I've heard about this one, I figured it was a good place to start. I will also be picking up An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. This book follows our main character, April May, who is walking through the streets of New York and stumbles upon this mysterious statue. She winds up taking a video with it, posting it to YouTube, and that video becomes viral as other people around the world have also posted same videos with these statues, and nobody knows where they have come from. So this novel follows the effect of her video going viral, and now she's getting a bunch of attention, as well as kind of the mystery sci-fi fantasy element of trying to figure out where these robot statue things are coming from. This is Hank Green's debut novel, and I've loved Hank Green for years. I've been watching him and his brother John on Vlogbrothers. Again, I've heard very good things about this novel. It actually wound up on a lot of booktubers' best books of the year list from last year, and I'm finally getting around to reading it, and I have very high hopes. I also want to pick up The Great Unknowable End by Catherine Ormsby. This is a historical fiction novel that takes place in Kansas, and it follows our two main characters, Stella and Galliard. The town that they live in has not really had a whole lot happen. They each have their own individual struggles going on in their lives, and they believe that the apocalypse is coming soon, so they meet, their worlds collide, and they have to work towards facing this great unknowable end. And the last book that I am reading that is not for the readathon is The 100 Thing Challenge by David Bruno. This is a nonfiction piece from David Bruno where he talks about taking all of his possessions and whittling them down to just 100 things. The subtitle for this one I think kind of gives you a gist of what the story is about. The subtitle says, "How I Got Rid of Almost Everything, Remade My Life, and Regained My Soul." Now, I would not consider myself a full-on minimalist. That is something that we as a family are trying to kind of get towards, but we're definitely not there yet. I don't think that we're ever going to be as extreme as this man, but I think that this nonfiction piece will be a good kind of eye-opener into how we can make that a little bit more manageable. That's just something that we're kind of wanting to get into, and hopefully this will be a good window to do that. Hey everybody, future Alex here. I just wanted to add in a little clip because I do actually have one more book that I'm adding to my TBR for July, and I did not have it in my possession when I originally filmed my TBR, so now that I have it, I thought I would just pop it in here. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you already know about this, but if you don't, I have actually been made an affiliate for the Book of the Month YA box. I'm sure that a lot of you already know what Book of the Month is, but if you're not aware, Book of the Month is a monthly subscription service where you can choose from one of 5 brand new hardcover releases mailed to your door for $15. Book of the Month itself has been around for quite a while now, and they have just launched a strictly YA version of their box, so you get to pick from 5 strictly YA releases, which is awesome, and that's a lot of what I read, so sign me up. I know that as of filming this video, Book of the Month is running a promotion where if you use the code WHOA, W-H-O-A, at checkout, then you will receive your first book for $10. I will leave the link to Book of the Month down in the description as well as that code, and if it has expired, I will put that in the description box as well. But if you are interested in signing up, just use the link down below. That just lets Book of the Month know that you came from my platform, and it would really help me out. So the book that I selected and the book that I will be adding to my TBR for July is Past Perfect Life by Elizabeth Yulberg. The synopsis of this one on the inside cover is actually pretty short, so I'm just going to read you that to give you an idea of what this book is about. Before, Allie Smith loves her small-town life just the way it is, spending quality time with her widowed father and her tight-knit circle, including her best friend Marion and maybe more than friends Neil. And after Allie's life is blown apart, suddenly she learns she's not Allison Smith. Her real name is Amanda, and she's been missing for more than 15 years. Was everything before a lie, and what will she do as now comes crashing down around her? So this sounds just like a dark contemporary. You guys know I am a huge fan of that, and it's got a little mystery element in. I'm always really intrigued by the I'm not who I thought I was premise, so I'm hoping that this one's gonna be really good and will put a new twist on that kind of trope, so I'm excited. Now on to my Readathon TBR. This month I am going to be participating in the biannual Bibliothon, which is taking place from July 11th to the 19th. Obviously, since I just started on BookTube, I have never participated in the biannual Bibliothon before, but this is the last time they're ever going to be hosting this readathon, so I wanted to go ahead and jump on the chance to participate. Now, this readathon does have a double up rule, so you can take 2 challenges and make them fit for 1 book, and I will definitely be taking advantage of that. If you want more information on this readathon, I will leave a link to their channel down below so that you can see all the hosts, see their video challenges, their reading challenges, all of that good stuff. I am not planning to participate in the video challenges, but I will be kind of semi-vlogging, keeping up with my progress over on Instagram, so my handle is in the description if you want to go follow me over there so you can keep up with what I'm reading throughout the week. So first, I do want to mention that the group book for this readathon is Aurora Rising by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. I just read this book back last month, so I will not be rereading it, but just so you know if you're participating, that is the group book. My first choice meets the challenges for a graphic novel and a book that you chose based on the cover, and I'm going to be reading Blankets by Craig Thompson. Now, looking at this cover, I know what you're thinking. Alex, why are you reading this book in July? And I say, because it's the only graphic novel that I have on my massive TBR for the year, so we're gonna make it work. I really have no idea what this graphic novel is about, but back several years ago on BookTube, I was hearing amazing things about it, and this is one that my library actually has, so I'm gonna be diving in. For my free choice, a wildcard book, I'm gonna be reading Orange is the New Black by Piper Kerman. Now, like I said early in the video, Orange is the New Black Season 7, the last season of the show, will be premiering in July, and this readathon runs the week before the show premieres. I've always wanted to pick this book up ever since I started watching the show, so I figured now is as good a time as any to go ahead and get it done. Next is the challenge to read a book that you were excited for but never picked up, and for that one, I'm going to be reading Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 5th book in the Throne of Glass series. If you watched my mid-year book freakout tag, you will know that this is #1 priority for me this year is to finish the Throne of Glass series, so I want to go ahead and get on it and read Empire of Storms this month. My next book meets 2 challenges, which is to read an adult book and a predicted 5-star reads. So for this one, I'm going to be reading If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. Now, earlier this year, I did a 5-star predictions video, and I listed 5 books in that video. If We Were Villains is the only one that I have not read yet, so I'm hoping to go ahead and read it in July. That way in August, I can do a wrap-up of those predictions and get a new 5-star predictions going. This book follows our main character, Oliver, who at the beginning of the novel is being released from prison, where he has been for the last 10 years for a murder that he may or may not have committed. When he gets out of prison, he is confronted by the detective that put him there, and he wants to know the real story of what happened all those years ago. So we get to go back in time and follow Oliver and his acting troupe and see what actually happened. I've again heard nothing but great things about this one. It really gives me vibes like The Secret History by Donna Tartt, which I enjoyed earlier this year, so I'm hoping that this one will be even better. And the last book I'm planning to read in July also meets 2 challenges for the Readathon. For reading one of the host's 5-star reads and reading from an author that you've never read before, I'm going to be picking up The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. This book is a historical fiction that follows our main character Percy as he is going on his grand tour around Europe. He is also with Felicity, his younger sister, and Percy, who is his best friend and his crush. I have again heard nothing but great things about this one. There is also a sequel/companion novel that I'm interested in getting to, so I've been wanting to read this one for a while, and this was the only one of the host books that I either hadn't read or was interested in, so might as well go ahead and read it too. So that is it for all the books I'm planning to read in July. If you have read any of these or are interested in them as well, leave your thoughts in the comments down below. I would love to chat with you guys down there as always. So until next time, bye!